Ice cream foam.
Not real. Not real ice cream.
We'll actually start with Bill looking up ice cream foam and seeing what we can get out of it. All right, everybody.
It's BS.
Yeah. Welcome to episode 33 of the Fantasy Timeline, a proud member of the Dynasty Addicts Podcast Network. Bill, have you figured out what is in ice cream foam?
So I just Googled ice cream sandwich left in sun, and the first thing that pops up is a video on YouTube that says the real reason Walmart ice cream sandwiches don't melt.
Walmart brand, huh? Okay.
Yep. So go to Walmart, buy an ice cream sandwich, and then just leave it outside for like 3 days, and
nothing was supposed to change.
It just looks the same.
That's what he's telling me, guys. I don't know if anybody's already in the show live, but I don't believe it.
But I mean, this is the kind of hard-hitting fantasy analysis that you get from us. Ice cream sandwich and the foam it's composed of. So
that's why I'm only making it to the round of 16 for the.
Nah, man, you're making the comeback. Don't. You're only 6 points down. You just get it to 50-50 and you're good.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, everybody. So if you're in the chat right now, you see a very attractive man with us. If you're listening to us in podcast form,
Bill does look nice.
You hear a voice. It is our man, Two Drink. Two Drink, how you doing, brother?
What's up, buddy? I am stoked to come on. I'm gonna try my best not to jinx it, and
he's acting like he froze.
I'm not very good at it. That's all I got. You won't stay for the jokes, I guess.
We have Geek Squad on standby. We found
Nerd Herd from some Chuck bullshit.
Nerd Herd from some Chuck bullshit. I called a couple of hacker friends I know just in case. You know, we're gonna have you on the whole time. I promise.
Let's do it.
So there was some news that happened over the past week. Dak Prescott signing his exclusive franchise tag. That's a fancier franchise tag. Does this change your opinion on Dak? Do you want him more, want him less? What's going on? Two Drink, why don't you start off? Anything change in your mind with Dak?
I mean, not really. This is kind of what we were hoping to at least get or something. I would say if I have Dak, I feel better about it, and I'm not looking to move him now. Yeah, you're the Cowboy guy, man. This is your wheelhouse.
I mean,
that's why it's even on the sheet,
right?
yeah, because Dak is like a Gardner Minshew out there. Get out of here, Bill.
Hey.
Yeah.
He's not that bad. Yeah,
right. No, I mean, this is what I've told everybody. This is what Jerry Jones does. He takes these negotiations to the last possible minute. Dak and the Cowboys can still negotiate a deal before July 15th. So I'm sure on July 14th, some mega deal is going to be signed after a whole lot of posturing and, Jerry wanting, to not pay him as much and Dak wanting $50 million a year. They're going to meet in the middle somewhere. Dak's going to get paid a whole bunch of money with a whole bunch of guaranteed, and everybody's been freaking out for the last, it's been 3-4 months. Will be calm. What do you think, Bill?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is just a way to ensure that for some reason, if Dallas says, we might be happy with Andy Dalton, we're going to rescind the franchise if he hadn't signed it, and then he'd have to try to find somewhere else to make any money, and he probably wouldn't get as much as he would through the franchise. So it was just a smart move all around for everybody. So there's just at least some negotiation basis, and it doesn't really change much for me because that's kind of what I expected, like what Two Drink said.
On Super Flexible 2 weeks ago, we had discussed Andy Dalton being a buy low before this came out. So if you have Dak and not Andy Dalton, are you looking to go get him, or if the other way around? If you have Dalton, not Dak, do you go to try to push that now to the Dak guy, or was Dalton always a longer term play for y'all? I know we talked about it, but now I'm throwing it at you because that's what I do.
Nice. I still think Andy Dalton is a longer term play. I mean, what's Andy Dalton going to do this year? The only way he's getting on the field is if Dak gets hurt. So I think I think right now trying to grab him, you might actually end up paying more. Try that move week 5, week 6. Dak has been playing, hopefully he's playing well.
Maybe
everyone has
a
forgotten.
Long-term deal.
Yeah. Everyone has forgotten about Andy Dalton. He's just been sitting on the bench, ginger hair flowing in the wind, and you throw a 4th round pick at someone who maybe will just be excited to get Andy Dalton off their damn roster because he hasn't done anything for you in the last 8 months. And I think either way, Andy Dalton's value goes up this time next year. Either he sat in Dallas all year and didn't do anything, and people get excited about him filling some vacancy, or he does get in. I can't believe he wouldn't play decently with that offensive line and the weapons they have, and his value jumps a little bit. So what about you, Bill?
Yeah, that pretty much destroys him short term. I mean, that's the only difference, right? So, I mean, what any sort of leverage you had to trade Dalton right now, if you have him, I mean, pretty much it turns him into a hold for me. Because who's gonna? Oh, 2-drink cracking a new one.
Yeah. I opened my second. I figured it was time.
Well, 2 drinks. Anyway,
Finero, what's up, dude?
So I threw it up there. I knew you would get a laugh out of that.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Dalton's just a long-term play if you're gonna try to add him now. I mean, there's absolutely no reason. If I have Dak, I'm not going out of my way to add him necessarily because he's gonna play all year now at least. So yeah, that's that. I really
don't think you should have any desire to add Dalton if Dak is on your squad. I mean, I'm more looking at him on teams that I don't have Dak as that long-term play. And like I said, I'm probably not even looking him up until week 5 or 6 as people have forgotten about, him being pretty good in Cincinnati considering what was around him for a lot of those years. So, I mean, that would be my play. I like the question though, too, Drink. It was it was good. And then, of course, this always seems to happen to us, Bill. We do our show on Wednesday. We knock it out of the park like we always do. You carry me. It's awesome. And then like some piece of big news breaks like Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon that we could have talked about on the show. So looks like last Thursday, Debo suffers a Jones fracture. I don't know if that's Jerry Jones, Julio Jones, Jim Jones, Mike Jones. I don't know what Jones that is. Who, Bill?
Nice.
Mike Jones.
That's right. A Jones fracture. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. But Debo, I guess he got his medical degree while I was in South Carolina, said he'll be back in 10 weeks. So what are you doing with Debo right now? What do you want to do with him? Are you buying, selling, holding? 2-drink, what are you doing?
I mean, if I can get him for any kind of discount, I'll go ahead and do it. I can't see myself selling him right now. It's so hard to sell on bad news. That's just bad business in general for Dynasty. So I'll be honest. I think I only have one share of Debo across the 18 leagues I'm in, I believe. I haven't gone out looking to acquire him either. I haven't actively done that. So I would assume his price is still too much for what I want to pay from him. I think switching a little bit, Kittle is going to absolutely crush early. If we want to go ahead and switch it over to Ayuk, that's a big fat pass for me.
Thank you. I'm glad.
And now you want me to pay more for it? Now I understand it, and I probably should if you want to get it, but I do not want to get it.
I didn't draft Ayuk in any of my leagues.
Agreed.
And honestly, he's like the type of dude that if he's in that Walmart $5 DVD bin, maybe I take a look. Like, you want to give me an awesome discount on him. But I mean, let's face it, we're going to talk a little bit more about San Francisco's other options a little bit later. But dude, give me just about anyone else on that team as an option in the receiving core over Ayuk. I mean, he's going to be out there, but it is what it is. What about you, Bill?
I mean, Debo is a hold if I have him. I haven't really seen any trades. Actually, Outhouse and I talked about this a little bit on the DAP Live on Sunday, and I just I don't see people paying what I'd want to move him. I mean, but if I can get anything close to what his value was before the injury, I mean, even if it's like 80 to 90%, I might do it just to try to get maybe somebody else that can increase their value, this season. Okay. But yeah, as for like other people on the team, I don't think that. I mean, for sure, I agree with Two Drink about Kittle. And I was listening to one of Scott Connor's podcasts, and he was mentioning that he was looking at some projections, and I think Debo was someone's projections had him as the highest target, and it was only like 80 some targets, for San Fran, because they're going to spread it around. Kittle is the focus, and they run the ball a lot. So that alone, I guess, leads me to maybe want to even move Debo right now. While he's in the news, people might want him more. It might drum up a little bit more business. But, yeah, he's probably a hold at the moment.
So Bill says I don't do research for this show, and he's
you do more than me.
98% of the time he's correct, but I wanted to look into, because I'd honestly never heard of a Jones fracture before, so wanted to see what it's all about. So found this article, and of course, like an idiot, I copied it and didn't write the website name down. So whoever did this work, my bad. If you shout me out on Twitter, I will give you props in the next episode. But pretty much 42 Jones fractures were identified during the 2010 to 2015 seasons. 15 players returned to the field in 10 weeks or less, but that's after a surgery. It looks like Debo is not getting a surgery. And to cut out a lot of the filler here, there was an average decrease in performance by 53.2% in those players returning in 10 weeks or less after their first Jones fracture. So, this might be a year where if you are holding him, you just might, not be playing him all that much. I mean, he could be in that other 47%, but that's something you have to take a look at as well. So I like this though from our man Zach Reed, Tacit Assassin 13. I'm glad Two Drink is off of Ayuk too. Me too, Zach. I'm glad. I thought I was the only person that was like not really on the Ayuk train. Has a cool sounding last name. Sounds like Ayuk it, but besides that, I mean, I didn't like him before the draft process or during the draft process, excuse me. And him going to San Francisco didn't really, do anything for me. They're a run-oriented team, and yeah, he might have a week or two where Debo's not there, and maybe he does something. But once Debo comes back, it seems like the passing offense is run through Kittle first, obviously, and then Debo. So I don't know where that leaves Ayuk, but
I think if you have Ayuk, then if you can sell on a high because of that right now, but maybe wait until week 1, 2, 3 and hope he has that big game before Debo's fully back, and that's your sell window. And if you don't do it there, you're probably sitting a long time on that guy trying to get anything.
Yeah,
and yes, Tacit Assassin, I am on the McKinnon train. I think Coleman's a little bit more expensive. I'm just jumping in the chat. I just found it. I didn't even see that.
That's cool.
I was in the wrong one that you guys aren't talking to me in, so that's cool. But I just saw that one. So yeah, I want no part of Mostert. That's gross, and you have to pay way too damn much for it. So I will take the cheapest piece there. I think McKinnon is maybe third. I don't mind Jeffrey Wilson Jr. He's still there. he showed even in a little bit, and that's as cheap as I think that's cheaper than McKinnon.
Mm-hmm. Listen,
I still have Jet sitting on like 3 dynasty teams, just sitting.
a little behind the curtain. We were talking about this episode, the three of us, and we were going to throw possibly a Mostert tweet on here until the three of us realized that.
I tried to stir it up, and you were all on the correct side.
You what did you call him? Raheem no start.
No start. That is a no start for me, buddy.
Listen. I've been on this bandwagon for a while. I don't know where like Raheem Mostert all of a sudden became a thing. Like it was like we have to draft him early. Not like San Francisco hasn't used 78 running backs this season since Kyle Shanahan got there. His dad did the same thing. Could literally turn a trash can into a 1,000-yard rusher, and we somehow think that 6 other NFL teams miss this elite talent and cut him, and he just ended up with Kyle Shanahan. I don't get it, but we couldn't get one of us to go on the other side of that conversation, so we gutted it. But
let's stay in the 49ers before I let you jump off. I did super flexible today with John Hogue and Swagzilla 0G, as he will now be known to me. And this is a trade I didn't get to, and I saw Tacit bring it up again. So I'm gonna throw this out. It's actually from Dynasty FF Addict, so another fellow DAP member there. But Ayuk in a 2021 fourth, or a 2021 third and a 2022 second. Zach asked for the 21 first. I would definitely do that. But how about for the 22 second?
So say that again.
Ayuk in a 2021 fourth,
mm-hmm.
or a 2021 third and a 2022 first.
Oh yeah, you're giving me a first for Ayuk. You can make it a 2032 first. I'm taking that. Like, if I can honestly get a first round pick for Brandon Ayuk, I'm thrilled. I'm ecstatic. Even if I got to wait 2 years for it, I'll throw it in another trade probably and end up getting something before then. But yeah, give me that first.
With all the pieces there, even in 2022, is Ayuk worth a first by himself? Probably not.
Nah.
Bill, you're shaking your head. I feel like it's for the wrong reason. It's too far out. You want the player?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would rather roll the dice and see if he pops early than move him for a 22 first. I mean, I'd rather, like Zach says in the chat, like do him in a third for a first this year, or 21
That's not
first.
The deal.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, that's why I'm saying I won't do your deal. I'll do something that's a little more recent, or a little more current, and otherwise I'd rather just roll the dice and hope he hits, because I can make so many moves in the meantime that will net me much more than a 22 first.
You're gonna wait for week 1 to 4 when he hits 4 Devos full, and then get the 21 first. That's what you're gonna wait for. That's fine.
Yeah,
I hear you.
And if not, whatever. I didn't lose that much.
10 minutes left and 51% on the Ayuk side. So super close.
That's the correct answer. Yeah.
Listen, if you can give me a first round pick for Kendrick Bourne 2.0, I'm going to take that all day. So
I feel like I'm lacking energy right now.
Pettis,
like I feel like this is lacking energy. I took a nap earlier. I'm just not out of the fog yet, so I apologize. I feel like I'm just going through the motions right now, so I need to slap myself out of it. Okay, come on. Let's fire up.
Well, now we understand why you went on the other side of that trade. That makes a whole lot more sense now. You're still trying to wake up from the nap. We get it, man. It happens to all of us. We don't think clearly when we first wake up. It's understandable. So before we get into the timeline, just want to shout out, obviously, Scott Fishbowl. I think he's at 97% of invites sent. So I guess there's still some people out there that will get their invites.
There's still some hope for y'all. I think there's still a couple of giveaways going on out there too. And
yeah,
doesn't the Potathon always give one away like right at the end or something crazy?
So, yeah. So don't be discouraged yet if you haven't gotten your invite. I don't know if you can still sign up. I'm assuming you can because I feel like you can almost sign up until the last spot is given. Do it if you haven't already. Who knows? You could be that person. But
enough about you.
Enough about me.
No, just the people. The people that haven't gotten in yet.
Yeah, we don't want to hear your problems. We're not one of those caring podcasts. No, yeah, but I mean, obviously, you know, Bill and I are both super ecstatic every time we see somebody, you know, send up a screenshot of that email. The fishbowl is on top, and you're just like,
for sure,
you're just happy. It doesn't even matter if you really know the person or not. I mean, I know I almost cried when I got mine because I'll be honest with you, I did not think I was going to get in this year, so I was so excited. One of our guys from our eliminator, Corey, actually put up his video when he got his invite, and he was crying. I mean, he was just so
super emotional.
He was so happy to get in.
Yeah, thankful.
I think he thought a lot like I did that it wasn't going to be his year this year, and that was so cool to watch. Just, you know, it does, like, getting in. You just feel so happy to be in it and a part of something that's so just good and well known, and you know that you are part of a bigger team that is just out there helping with so many different things. And we put a challenge in our eliminator. We told our eliminator if they could collectively raise $50 that we would, quote unquote, sell our 4th round pick. We would pick one of the people who donated and allow them to make our 4th round pick for us. What Bill and I didn't know is that they blew past $50 within like 15 minutes. And by the time everything was said and done, we were near to $500 to different charities. Our eliminator is awesome. I'm gonna shout it. I'm gonna shout everyone out right now.
Hell yeah!
Zach brought up AB, which is funny because since they came through more than clutch, I don't even know if there's a word to describe how they came through. We also told them that we would sell our 7th round pick, which happened to be AB. Someone picked AB for us, so he was our 7th round pick. Our 4th round pick was chosen by Lindsay Kennedy at here it is, at Lynn LIN6. She made a donation to the Arthritis Society. She picked our 4th round pick, which was Devin Funchess.
Hell yeah!
So listen, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna buy me a Devin Funchess Green Bay jersey, and we're gonna roll. But no, I'm going to shout everyone out real quick that did donate, because our eliminator is amazing. First of all, they keep that chat going all day. I'm at work and I'm like, holy shit. Like, I'll turn away from my phone for like 20 minutes and it's like, you have 28 missed. And I'm like, holy shit. They, you know, and they're all really cool people. So Drew from 615 at DR_PRA made a donation to the Equal Justice Initiative. Dustin, our boy Dustin Church from the Dynasty Junkies podcast at Dynasty Junkie FF made his donation to Color of Change. Yo-Yo Ma at J Moshel made his donation to the American Brain Tumor Association. Like I said earlier, Lindsay Kennedy at Lin6 to the Arthritis Society. Steve D at FF Swirly donated to the SFBX Podathon. Our main man Bill at Super Dupaflex made a donation to St. Peter's Episcopal Church. Superflex Junkie at Superflex Junkie to Village Chapel Church, and those churches have been, working with the homeless. They've been supporting families that have been hit hard by COVID. Both of those places are doing a lot of good things, especially in times right now that are a little crazy. And last but certainly not least, John P. at JPIP6 donated to Castle Shannon Volunteer Fire Department, And And all those donations combined added up to almost $500, which Bill and I talked privately in another chat that we had, and we were blown away. We couldn't believe that we asked for $50 and our eliminator just decided they wanted to throw another zero on that. So,
yeah, not one person donated less than $50. That was the crazy thing. Like we're like, if you guys, I was thinking like if somebody like donates $5, another one
just heard y'all wrong.
Yeah, maybe they did, but yeah, it was crazy. Like it just kept coming, and I was like, and it's very much so like awesome. what the whole thing is, right? Where everybody keeps donating, and people kind of get caught up in the excitement, and just. That's what this whole thing's about. And it was just mind blowing. Like that like 3 hour, I mean, it was just nuts. Like it was
just screenshot after screenshot after screenshot of donations. It was insane. And it's funny because we had originally said we were just going to sell the 4th round pick. And then once all the donations came in, Bill and I were like, dude, we got to sell more picks. Like there's no way now with all of the donations that came in that we could only sell off 1 pick. So we sold the 2nd pick, and I think we're going to sell 1 more pick. And you know what? I don't care if we get knocked out week 1 because honestly,
we're still winning it.
Probably. I'm not going to,
It's only because of Lindsay's Funchess pick. Lindsay's in the chat. That's a dope ass pick.
Yeah, Funchess and AB. But they both
she paid $50 for that. Is that did I misread that?
She donated $50. She donated $50. And she said, "You guys are gonna get Devin Funchess," and I was like,
I thought that was really nice of her because there is some upside there at least. Like I mean, he could be wide receiver too.
Listen,
whatever. That's awesome.
I can tell a story.
We had people in the chat who were suggesting, maybe with one of these picks you give him Nathan Peterman. Like so.
Oof, yeah.
Devin Funchess is like a huge,
you at least get points. That's
right?
Fair.
Yeah. Like and
some.
Maybe
3 points.
More than Peterman.
Correct.
Yes.
Well played, Lindsay.
So and
she's
then
so nice.
And then our man John P came in the 7th round and was like, "Hey, you want a AB?" And I love just having to hit select player on a guy that has FA next to his name. So that always makes me tingly in my spots. But
effing awesome. Is that what that meant?
That's exactly what it meant.
That's the team he's on in his head. Yep.
Yeah.
Is that there's at least real upside with that pick though. I hate that it's the 7th round.
Yeah, whatever. I mean,
listen, don't you dare disrespect the great name of Devin Funchess. All right, don't do it to Drink. Don't disrespect that man, okay? I see that people are running from the chat because we've already talked about Devin Funchess for more than 30 seconds. So we'll get back on track. But thank you to everybody in our eliminator. You guys are amazing. We wanted to shout you guys out because honestly, it was way more than we expected, and a lot of great charities got a little bit of help, and that's what Scott Fishbowl. RotoWare is donating all of their proceeds from their shirts. The SFB Avi makers are they're doing their thing.
There's a whole group of them this year doing it too.
Yeah, there's like 6 guys, isn't there? 7 guys or something.
And I've seen some other ones do it. I can't remember the names right now, but other people are doing it too. And then you're still having those people donate to Fantasy Cares or somewhere. So it's awesome time of year for the fantasy community, that's for sure.
And then it's
all Scott's fault, bastard.
Yeah.
Scott making us giving and caring people.
Jerk.
Damn it, Scott. And then of course we hit the main event in a like a week or so with the Podathon. So it's awesome, and we just want to shout. Bill and I want to shout out everybody in our eliminator because they're awesome.
Yeah, thanks guys.
So y'all just gonna skip right over the actual AB part though? Like that's not a thing.
Listen. AB is on our squad, and when he's signed and he just starts putting up baller status points, we gonna win this thing.
Do we believe any of that? That's not a guy I'm trying to acquire right now, right? Like if you happen to still have him on your team, then it's a sweet hold. But you're not going out to acquire him right now from somebody. If he's on the waiver, sure.
Like, I mean, when I'm in startups, I'm grabbing him late, and like most of my startups, just because, I mean. Who else at that point is gonna potentially have
Right, the upside of
value
him
bump,
over a
exactly.
third string running back or bullshit Devin Funchess,
Yeah.
fourth string wide receiver.
Hey,
sure.
hey, yeah.
But is there Baltimore, I guess, is the one I've heard the most.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you like that there? There's not a lot of targets to go around. Like, yeah, we want Lamar Jackson to take another step and throwing, and maybe the rushing comes back a little bit, but AB's not seeing what 120 targets. Like, does AB commands more than that from that offense?
But here's the thing.
That's so low. That felt weird.
That's low. I agree with you, but we can't act like the Baltimore offense has Randy Moss and Megatron out there. I mean, Hollywood Brown should take a step up, but that's a should. What do we got? Miles Boykin, Willie Snead, what? James Prochet. Like, we're not talking about like world beaters here. I think if AB is signed and he walks right onto the field and he is in some
somehow
kind
gets
of
to
shape,
play 16 games, which will never fucking happen.
Probably not. But I mean, if he's in football shape and he walks out onto that field, he is by far the best option Lamar Jackson has.
Sure.
So, I mean, we have to kind of factor that in as well. I agree with you. I'm not out there, maybe I'll give up a 5th round pick just to go on the fucking AB ride.
I do. Right,
so I would say, so you both have them,
but nobody's going to sell them for that.
That's what I'm saying. So you both have them in a league. I have a third. You want my 21 third?
I mean, it depends on my team.
Yeah, you have AB. I have a third. You'll take my third?
Yeah,
I won't.
Right there it is. I mean,
I will, because I personally don't believe AB will ever play another snap in the league.
Okay,
but I mean, he's on this eliminator team now, so I got to pull for him to do something. But I mean, but if this is one of my dynasty teams and you come to me, you make me an offer and go, hey, a 21 third for AB, I'm hitting accept so fast on that. Because
so I didn't just offer that, and you don't have this information, you'll take a 4th? Where's your line? You want Eno Benjamin or AB? Eno was like a 5th rounder in both rookies. Where's your line?
Can you give me Eno Benjamin and the 4th?
You just said AB is never going to play it down. Now you're getting greedy.
I like where you're headed.
What do you want from me, Two Drink?
I'm trying to find your line, bro.
But I'm telling you what my line is. For a 4th, I don't know. For a 4th and Eno Benjamin, I'd accept.
Okay.
So if we're talking like a 2020 third, I could potentially, just because I'm familiar with who the people are.
Yeah.
I'm probably more apt to trade him for a 3rd. Okay. I'm not trading him for a 4th. Do I want like LaMichael Pirine or AB? I'd just rather take AB and hope he hits. But like if it's like AGG, who's like a 3rd rounder usually, I mean, maybe I go AGG just because, I feel better about that. But,
chill out, Fanero. We'll fucking get there.
I'm not. Are you changing like accounts on here? I'm getting confused.
he's very feverish right now with his.
We got Aardvark, we got Fanero account.
Just go to it. Just go.
Is that how you win your polls?
That's how we do it.
All your different accounts.
He's like, I'm voting for my side with all the accounts.
But honestly, AB, I'd rather just hold, because he's one of those guys you're going to get rid of. Like, either you can cut him at some point and just be done with him. You don't have him, having a roster spot for the next 2 or 3 years, because like a rookie would.
But let me flip this on you, Two Drink. So what do you need to get in order to get rid of AB?
If I have him on my team, why would I give him up right now? So it's probably going to cost you a second. I can't see anybody doing that.
Right.
Nope.
I've been sitting on him now for 18 months minus 1 game he played against the Dolphins last year.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's probably too long math. But yeah, it's going to take more than you're willing to give, because I don't mind that sitting on the end of my roster.
Right.
I know some people don't like to play that, and you'll take the third, maybe not the fourth and change, but I think I'm more with Bill, where something on the end of my bench at this point, like I drafted AB maybe 3 years ago in a startup dynasty, like at the end of the first, you know what I mean? And now he's still just sitting there.
Right.
So that effing sucks. But at this point, he's just sitting there. If I can turn that back into a player, do I want to move once he signs somewhere and then we find out he has to serve some sort of suspension? Maybe that's the play, but it's not now to me.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll full disclosure here. I'm in a 14-team super flex, and I offered my 5th round pick to the guy who had AB just to see if he was someone like me who just wanted AB off his team. And he was like, nah, man, I need a little more. And I was like, that's cool. And I
should have gave him Eno in a 5th.
Unfortunately, I don't have Eno on any of my teams, but
you should. That's a different story, but you should.
Okay. Well, that can be a thing one day.
We'll bring that back.
But all right. So 2 drink. You asked for it, so we'll do it. What we've seen on the timeline. So there's this guy, Feverish Fanaro. Don't know if you guys have ever heard of him, but at Aardvark TV, he says, I know this won't be a popular take, I'm assuming, but I'm not ready to quit on Miles Boykin. Am I alone? Probably, but I'm okay with that. I know low pass volume, especially at his price, wide receiver 91 on Fantasy Pros and wide receiver 108 on my fantasy league. So I'll let either one of you guys start first on the wonderful world of Miles Boykin.
I'm going to steal it. You chill out, Bill. First of all, in this crazy fantasy world, I don't think anybody's ever by themselves on a person, but I don't mind the Miles Boykin. I would say Fanero's definitely been on him hard since last year. Harder than some other guys. I took Miles Boykin in a weird 15-team league redraft at pick 385. This is a full IDP as well. We start 11 on both sides of the ball, so it makes a little difference there. But yeah, pick around 26, 10, and I get to take a guy, Miles Boykin. So I think Fanero said it was around 100 or something like that. 108
on my fantasy league.
That's probably a little rich for me. I'd have to see what's going around in that area, but I don't mind him being the number 2 wide receiver for Baltimore. I think he's probably more the touchdown guy towards the red zone, second to Mark Andrews there to throw. I don't think that's where Marquise Brown kind of, makes his money at. I'd like to see Boykin take that next step, and for the price, that's okay. I don't mind it. Fanero's definitely leading the charge. I don't know if I'm ready to put my flag there, but cost wise, you don't really have to.
Yeah, I don't mind it either. And a lot of times you see those bigger wide receivers. It takes a minute for them to kind of, feel comfortable in the league. It's just, the smaller guys have a better chance to succeed immediately, in my opinion. Sometimes it takes a year or so for those bigger guys to acclimate. And so, yeah, I mean, I buy into it. I mean, he's uber cheap. Somebody offered me I think I sold him for a 3rd in one of my rookie drafts during a rookie draft. But I mean, I don't mind the flyer either. I ended up getting like Brian Edwards or something, so I was super happy. But regardless, sure. But if I didn't know who I was going to get, I mean, I wouldn't have moved him for a 3rd. You know what I mean? So like, he's still somebody I don't mind having on my roster, and I might go shopping on some where I have, open roster spots to maybe add him.
Yeah,
for a 3rd, like a late 3rd-ish, if I'm like a good team.
I would definitely give that right now for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wonder what he's going for.
While Bill's looking that up, I agree with you guys at the price. I mean, I don't know what's going in the hundreds on my fantasy league at wide receiver. I'm sure the options don't look great. And as that team currently stands, he is the number two. Two drink you mentioned earlier, pass volume. What's that going to be? And then you mentioned that he could be the kind of the second guy in line in the red zone after Mark Andrews. I mean, I don't think Finero is on an island by himself. I think the island has a very small population. But yeah, for the price, I mean, what's the worst?
Fourth rounder. Boykin for Cephas, Boykin for a fourth. Sorry for interrupting. I'm a dick.
Cephas was a 5th round pick in most drafts that I was in, so sure.
Yeah, and
I wonder where Swags is on that, because that's the Lions. I know you are too, Bill, but I know he kind of likes Cephas as well.
I like Cephas too, so
I just wonder, like, Brown has the speed. Lamar doesn't. Lamar can kind of throw to a spot and like let Brown go run underneath it and go get it, or the short underneath stuff. It's quick, but Boykin's never going to burn anybody. He's not slow by any means, but he's not the burner, right? So Lamar has to. That's a different relationship with the quarterback. Lamar has to learn to throw to a spot that Boykin likes to get to. You know what I mean, in the end zone or on a turn or something like a hook, and put it in a spot so Boykin can go get the ball. That's not something I think that's easy to do in year one, where it's a lot easier for Brown or a receiver like that. Even like Duvernay coming in, like don't be shocked if Duvernay has a decent start over Boykin early even. Like I can see that because they're the same kind of players. Didn't Duvernay have like this crazy long wingspan? Is that the right guy? I think, right? He's like 6 foot tall, but like 6'7" wingspan or something crazy like that. So and he's got speed. So I don't mind Boykin at the price right now, but it might get cheaper before it gets better.
And there you go. So Finero,
just to piss him off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it could get cheaper before he's on the practice squad. Whatever. I mean, it is what
sometimes shit's in a vacuum during the non-point scoring season. Just saying.
So we got that, and now we'll go back to kind of we were talking about Devo in the news. So this is from AWL Sabermetrics at AWL Sabermetrics. Wait, is it? Can it be Dante Pettis season? No, it is not Dante Pettis season. It will never be Dante Pettis season. Dante Pettis is not a thing anymore. He had like 6 games. It's more than a lot of players get in the NFL. He's not a thing. Ran over. Go ahead. Who wants to take this?
I'll take Jalen Hurd. And shit, I'll take Trent Taylor before I take Dante Pettis at this point.
Thank you.
I don't like agreeing this much with you guys. I feel like something's wrong, but sometimes that just means shit's correct. I don't know.
Right. That's what it is. You're on the right side of history with all this.
Well, like I'm trying to think, like, what would I give anything to get Dante Pettis on my roster? And the answer is probably not, because I can probably pick up Darnell Mooney off waivers and not have to give anything up. And he was like a 4th or 5th round pick for the Bears. So, I mean, or Joe Reed for San Diego, who was like a 5th round pick. Like I'd rather just pick those guys off waivers than to pay anything for Pettis. So
I think
just because of the low passing volume, it's not really, super exciting anyway. So
I think I would give you a 5th just on the hopes of some good news, either the first week of camp or whatever first week of NFL, whatever we call that. And maybe Debo isn't there and we get something because it's a 5th. I don't care. Can I turn that into a 3rd? Sure.
So, honest question: how many leagues do you guys have that have 5th round picks? Because you guys have talked a lot about 5ths,
all,
and like literally
-1.
I might have one league that has 5th round picks in it.
All of my leagues except for one have 5th round. That one goes to 3.
I think like 90 to 95% of my leagues have 5th round picks.
Wow. I am totally fine with 3 being the cap. Maybe in dynasty startups in year 1 you want to do 5 and expand rosters 5 spots. I think after that, year 2, you just do 3. You can expand it year 2, 3 if you want to, and then that's your number at the end. Whatever you started at, you can add 5 and then 3. And this should always only be 3. That way, at least there's that tiny bit on waivers that could pop, or at least you get a little bit more movement on waivers. People are dropping guys to see if a guy hits. I'm in plenty of dynasty leagues that after the rookie draft, there ain't shit that happens. It's just stagnant. It's stale.
Yep.
Nothing, because we're 35 roster spots deep at this, at this point, and nothing's happening. You take your 5 rookie picks and call it a wrap.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I
think 3 is the move for the future.
I think I go on every other day or so and look at waivers, and I'm just like, well, this was fun, and then I shut it down because, like you said, there ain't nothing out there.
I have been known to just drop nobody because I know nobody's going to pick him up, and just pick up a guy like Tim Tebow on my team because it just feels better. And I mean, I'm rocking my Gator shirt. I'm down here. I'm a hardcore Florida. Don't you shake your fucking head at me. But I just because I maybe I'm a bad person and I feel better with having Tebow on my team. It makes my whole team better.
God bless. So.
I don't know what that is. There it is.
Touchdown, Jesus.
He's like, I'm just gonna TiVo. Y'all figure it out. I need a
So yeah, I think the 3 of us mostly agree. It ain't never gonna be Dante Pettis' season. It was good while it lasted. This was one of the arguments I had with people going into this past season when they were telling me that Dante Pettis was good, and I was like, he ain't good. And I got yelled at by so many people about that. And I mean, don't get me wrong. If I was wrong about it, I just would have eaten it and, moved on. But
you wouldn't be bringing the story up if you were wrong.
Well, obviously, that's true. Even though I'll bring up a lot of stories where I'm wrong on stuff. But yeah, I was glad to be right on that because it seemed, talking about being on an island, I felt like I was the only person going into last season who didn't think Dante Pettis was going to be a thing. So it felt good. Felt good, guys.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
This is just for you. I feel like everybody else knows that, but just in case you didn't.
Love you. So this next one is from David Zach at David Zach 16. Been saying it for a while, but the entire Redskins passing game options are being undervalued. McLaurin, Sims, and Haskins are all going to take a leap in volume and production. So, true or false? 2 drink.
True. I guess it's all a little true. It's a little true. I mean, McLaurin was just a rookie. So was Sims. So if Sims takes the slot role, that's gross to me. But
yeah, you poo-pooed my Sims pick when I was on Breakdown.
I know, and I've heard some more bullshit about him since, and you got to at least look at it. I mean, if he takes that role,
so you trust other people's opinion over mine, I see.
Maybe you started me thinking in the right side, Bill. Probably not, but maybe, right? Like that could be where that goes. Oh, yeah. Haskins worries me a little. I'm not going to lie. I hope it works out and he can push. Rivera being there, another new offense coming in. He had trouble learning the last one. Coach even said he might be dyslexic. That's fucking rude. But even if it is true, you probably shouldn't say that about your own player. There's the stuff of him taking the selfie and just being super immature before that game was even over. And then Kyle Allen comes over with Rivera. So I know me and Swags have both been a component to get Kyle Allen with whatever COVID is happening and how the season's going to start. Would it surprise me if Kyle Allen starts the year because he knows the offense? It really wouldn't. So does that mean Haskins' numbers go down for the year? Maybe. It's probably about the same because how many did K start last year? 3? 4, somewhere in there, right? Like a couple like that.
Haskins played 7 games or something like that.
That was it?
I think so.
So I think he probably plays more than that, even if Allen starts the year off. We saw him have a nice connection with McLaurin. I think it's okay to play during this year, but I'm going to continue to say The Redskins went out to get a wide receiver. They tried to pay Amari even more than Dallas did, and Amari decided to stay with Dallas. The Redskins are still looking for a wide receiver. It's not AGG. That's a great piece to have, but they're looking for a wide receiver one because they don't believe McLaurin is it. I think McLaurin is a great wide receiver and probably puts up better numbers than he did last year. But your time is limited on when you can sell for peak value.
And he played 9 games, Haskins.
Wow, okay. Yeah, it felt like more than that. So I could still see him starting more than that. But again, how quick does he pick up this offense? If the team is somehow winning behind that defense in Rivera's new system, do they go to Haskins? Do they need to? Maybe Rivera just trusts this guy. That sucks because I have a lot of Haskins.
Well, we could also say, does Ron Rivera, who's an experienced NFL head coach, maybe simplify his playbook, whether Haskins is dyslexic or just is slow to pick up a playbook, whatever the case may be, and just, kind of makes it a little bit more concise, says we're just going to run this limited amount of plays until you get more comfortable with everything else that's in the playbook. I feel like Rivera is a smart enough coach to do that. And obviously his goal is going to be to use the defense, which is pretty good, to try to control games. And I mean, they kind of look like the 49ers, where they have a stable of running backs out there that, half of them will probably be cut, but they're going to go into the season with probably 4 guys that will, could do something. So, we'll see what happens. What do you think about this, Bill?
Yeah, I think they're a little undervalued right now. I mean, I think Haskins showed that he improved towards the end of the season. And I mean, he just looked lost early on. And I mean, you're a rookie. And I mean, it took a while for him to get going at Ohio State. He played 1 year after sitting for, 3 years or whatever it was.
Fucking crushed it in that 1 year.
He did
14
indeed.
games, almost 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Simplify it for him. Call it Ohio State, Urban Meyer, whatever you want to call it. If you can make the offense work for him, the kid is uber talented.
So I mean, and he showed that he was starting to improve and put up some decent stat lines. I mean, for a rookie that wasn't a top 10 pick or whatever. So
that O-line was bad last year.
Yep. So I have hope. I think that he can. I think that Kyle Allen was more brought along just to help Haskins in the quarterback room.
Yeah.
So they might have him play if they think they have a chance to win early on. But I think we're going to see Haskins starting from the get-go. And, I have some hope. I mean, McLaurin did fine without him. I mean, he can do fine with him. Sims, I mean, I'm not buying him, but I'll add him. And, I mean, so yeah, I'm fine with adding some pieces from that offense, because those are the kind of offenses I want to add pieces to that I'm not really sure how it's going to be. And people think that it's going to be bad. So, I'm not resigned to the fact that it's going to be an awful offense. And
16 games at Haskins. He's a super flex quarterback. That's not a one quarterback guy, right? We can believe that.
Correct.
16 games at Haskins, better than quarterback 18 finish?
Nope.
So he's a back end quarterback too in super flex even at best.
I would think
starting
so.
all 16 games.
I think so. I mean, if you go by points per game, I would say definitely.
Is there any upside there then?
Yeah, I mean there's
not upside to that. I don't want to pay for it.
But the fact is that they just don't have those receivers, so there's really not that many options. So that's kind of where I'm looking, especially on for McLaurin. Who else is going to get these targets? It's the tight ends. I mean, who are those? I mean, Josh and I had exactly.
Then Moss.
So,
Kevin Harmon, watch out.
Right. I mean, those are it, and those aren't exciting by any means. So, but they're cheap, and so why not roll the dice on a couple of those guys and just see what happens? And
how much different is this conversation if Amari signs there and it's Amari and then Terry McLaurin as the 2?
I mean, the offense looks a little more exciting,
Right? I mean, I think you definitely feel better about Haskins. I think
Sure.
the 16 number overall is probably closer to fair then, because you look about weapons. So if this team it was that dead set about adding a weapon, whether you like Antonio Gandy-Golden or not, well, they'll probably add another one next year then, right? And hopefully early. The only reason they didn't this year is they picked at 2 overall and took Chase Young,
Right.
and then didn't pick at all in the second and didn't pick again until the third. And then that's when they got a wide receiver and Gandy-Golden. Like, they are trying. They can't do it at 2. It makes no sense. You got to put Chase Young there.
Absolutely.
But I'm just look for them to continue to add pieces. Like, maybe now is the time to get in on Haskins, because it should only kind of go up from here.
And let's not be surprised if they add some veteran wide receivers, like once cuts happen and all of that. Like, there's going to be some guys that we're like, oh, it's actually looking a little better than it did. You know, that I don't think that, you know, what we see right now is what we're going to see week 1 or week 2 after players start getting cut. And so it could be a little more interesting than we think.
You know, Josh still got some Dez on some teams.
No, I got no more Dez. I had one team with Dez on it last year.
Once he signed with the Saints, Josh cut him.
Oh, he was out. Got it.
No, I actually still had my
Like trader.
my one Dez during the Saints thing, and then as soon as he got hurt, like day 1 of practice, I was like, all right, Dez,
Achilles, that's more than a year. Done.
We gotta go. And I don't think Washington is going to be very good. They could be in line for, a top 5 pick, top 7 pick. They could be in line for Jamar Chase. And, then we could be having this same conversation about, all right, where do we see Haskins now? I mean, I think McLaurin is going to maybe take that leap in volume and production. But a leap, I don't see that for Sims, and I see a very small hop for Haskins. So I can't buy into the, all of these guys are going to see this, gigantic leap in volume and production. Like, this isn't going to turn into a 575 pass attempt offense this season. Like, it's not.
Darius Geis gets hurt again. I might have to.
Yep.
Oh shit! I said it. I'm sorry.
But I mean,
whatever.
You say that, but Geis has been hurt the last 2 years, and I mean, I don't know what their pass attempts have been the last 2 years, but I can't imagine it's been all that high. I mean, they've been riding on the back of 78-year-old Adrian Peterson. Like, I mean, I think that's
Gibson's an SCMC. I don't know if you heard that from somebody, but I'm dropping news right now.
Right.
That's
right.
I heard that about J.D. McKissick too.
Oh, gross.
Listen, J.D. McKissick is the truth. Okay, guys.
Peyton Barber.
He played for the Lions last year.
Peyton Barber. I think they have Wendell Smallwood on that team. They are stacked at the running back position. Okay?
They have a ton of guys. I think they have like 10 guys in their roster that are running backs. Like, how?
Yeah,
and 3 at the end of the year.
Yeah,
they could probably fill a high school gymnasium with all the running backs they have right now. But yeah, I mean, they're the type of team. Even if Geis goes down, they're going to rely on those running backs to run the offense through. I feel like, as opposed to trying to turn Dwayne Haskins into a 600 pass attempt guy. So, Zach, we don't agree with you, but who knows, man? You might be right. We might be wrong. So, Bill and I, what we like to do is we like to pick a tweet that our guest has sent out, and then question them about it a little bit.
Whoops.
So, to drink. This is one of your tweets. Last 24 hours, I acquired 2 roster spots of Laviska Shenault. Could be the highest scoring rookie wide receiver. I need more. So
I do need more.
I picked this one because Laviska Shenault is one of the few guys in this draft that I couldn't come up with an opinion on one way or the other. He was decisive for me. So tell me why I should love Laviska Shenault.
The dude is amazing with the ball in his hands. He instantly turns into a running back to me. Once the ball is in his hands, he doesn't run like a wide receiver anymore. And he has the size to back it up. I know people will say, well, that's why he's maybe injured more so than a lot of wide receivers. A core muscle injury doesn't bother me. That's not something that we see as repeatable. He can do everything I want a wide receiver to do, and then he lands in Jacksonville. And I'm not saying he overtakes DJ Chark, but I think that offense is going to have to throw a lot. I think they find ways to get the ball in his hand. As much as I like to poke fun at Chris Thompson, being there and taking the pass catching role away from Fournette, I don't care about that guy. I think that's just kind of what we talked about before. That's coming over with Gruden because he knows the system. I think we find ways to get the ball in Chenault's hand like we did A.J. Brown and Deebo Samuels in the backfield as well, because this team needs playmakers. They're going to be playing from behind, and he is the most explosive person they have on that team, period. Give me a team that needs to throw and score a bunch of points, and I'll take the rookie wide receiver coming into at least the wide receiver 2 role, and I think could challenge Chark before too long. Why am I wrong?
So here's the thing. I've heard a lot of people say this. I've sort of seen it, sort of not seen it. Is he just a gimmick guy?
I mean, Colorado force-fed him the ball. Like, was he the best player on that team? Yeah, that's what you do. I think they will still find similar aspects at the next level where they can trust the ball in his hands to make plays. Yeah, I've heard people even say like Cordero Patterson, you know what I mean? Just because they want to find ways to get the ball in his hand. We said that about A.J. Brown and Tebow. It's not a bad thing.
Right.
And when you find enough touches to that person, right, we find out how good they are with the ball. Cordero Patterson, like even with the Bears, like we see him on a random like I formation straight up the gut. Like they're not going to do that with Chenault. That's just stupid coaching, right? But he only gets.
Oh, is he joking or is he serious? Oh, you're moving now. That's good.
He's moving.
Josh, you bugged out. I didn't do it.
Like, no, it was definitely you.
It was you, brother.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I got green all over my booster. I think we're okay.
Dude, Bill and I were like, oh shit, is he messing with us or is this?
Yeah. I'm like, that was incredible. It was like mid,
You're just
we're past the hour mark, and
if you would have done that,
for the second hour yet, like that hasn't come across. So
he needs to get his calling.
You gotta buy more data.
You got 30 seconds left before it cuts out again. But I think the Jags find ways to manufacture touches for him, gimmick or not. If I'm getting 10 of them a game, he will produce at that level. And I'm still only like in rookie drafts, I got him mid-second a lot of the times. Yeah. Right. I took him at 202, I think, in one draft because I didn't have another pick and I tried moving back, and Higgins went at 201. Those were my two guys there. One of those, if both of those somehow went behind me, I'd have find a way to just fucking give up.
So Bill, what is your opinion about Laviska Shenault?
I'm pretty indifferent about him, to be honest. Like, I mean, I do like his situation because I think he slots right in as the second option. I don't necessarily ever see him taking over for Chark, but he definitely plays a different role, so it really doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he may get more targets. I mean, I think, but he's going to get he's going to be more short passes. I mean, every so often he'll have, deep routes and that sort of thing. But I think that for the most part, they're going to try to get the ball in his hands quick, so that he can use that big body and,
right. Give me the Jarvis over the Odell. I'm not saying those two guys are the same, like for what they're doing, but
give
me the easy throw, right? Mm-hmm. Give me the guaranteed one, not the bomb throw to the touchdown. Let Shenault get the ball in his hands and then do the work. Make it easy on the quarterback, not putting it all on the quarterback to put it in the right spot for Chark.
Yeah. So like I'm rolling the dice. If I have him, it's not like I feel super confident in his abilities and to, excel at the NFL level or anything. Like I'm not basing it all on his talent. I don't know, but it's just more about situation and opportunity, and I can buy into that. And at his price, I mean, he is a second rounder, so it's not like you're you're losing a ton. So I don't mind it. Like I was even getting him sometimes in a late second. Like I think it was in one of the Superflex armies. I got him and Ayuk in a row, like 210, 211 or something like that. I mean, it's just crazy. So like, in that I'm all for it, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I'm not paying a first or anything for him, but like I'm fine adding him to some rosters, and I'm content with that. I just don't believe in his talent added along with his health issues that he's had over the years to like, cause he got beat up in college too.
Yeah. Shoulder issue.
So like, those are a little bit of a concern. I'd rather have like other guys than him, I guess, but the situation is pretty intriguing.
I guess I feel, I know it's a wide receiver, but a shoulder injury in football doesn't bother me as much as a knee does, where I'm worried about him losing a step or losing some of that explosiveness or something like that. It's a shoulder. Okay, can he maybe not extend and reach? You know what I mean? At the point when he's older, sure. But right now, I think once that's healthy, we don't worry about it anymore. I don't feel like I paid a ton for him in one. And in the other trade, I probably overpaid a little bit. So I'm going to throw both of these at you if you don't mind.
Do it.
I hate that you both know that I already got Chenault, so you know what side is mine. So you can't really give me an unbiased opinion here. But let's.
Yes, I can.
Why, do you think we don't like you or something?
I guess we'll find out. 12-team Superflex, full PPR, quarter carry, no tight end bonus premium. Daniel Jones, Lynn Bowden, Austin Hooper, and a 2021 second. There's a lot of pieces going on because that's usually how I do trades. My side, Stafford, Boston Scott, Laviska Shenault, Mike Gesicki, and a 2021 third.
Oh, I like your side.
Stafford and Jones, I think, is close enough. If you want to play age factor to Jones, then go ahead. Yep. I'm less on Jones than most, and the move to Stafford actually feels like an upgrade to me.
It is.
So I don't feel like I lost that part, and that's how this person decided to win this trade. Like, to them, that's the piece they came after and won it the other way.
So I'm really bad when you list a laundry list of items. Can you give me all of the items outside of the quarterbacks?
So Hooper, Lynn Bowden, and a second, or Shenault, Gesicki, Boston Scott, and a third. I have a lot of Hooper. I don't mind the move to Gesicki and see how that works out there with Chan Gailey being the Dolphins. I am a Dolphins, fan. I don't have many Gesicki shares. I had a lot of Hooper. Not being tight end premium doesn't hurt me as much, I think, if that happens there.
Yep.
So if I'm getting Shenault and Boston Scott for Lynn Bowden, you know what I mean? Yes, I give him his second back. I would say he's more of a rebuilder. I get my third back. I had a year where I just missed the playoffs. Give me my side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like it.
I mean,
I'm biased, so because I like you and I like Stafford, so I'm gonna take that side. I've been adding Stafford everywhere this offseason, so I cannot fault you on that. And
Vanero's still butthurt. I downplayed his Boykins. Now he wants to talk shit about Shenault. I'm gonna have to get on a show with him and talk some.
Yeah, that deal. I love Stafford. I'm high on Gesicki, so I like that piece of it. Boston Scott is one of those guys that is solid. He'll get you a little bit here and there.
He had a lot of really nice games at the end of the season when Miles Sanders was playing well.
Right.
And until they decide to add another running back, I still think they do at some point something. But Sanders and Scott can both coexist, and I think Scott can be in this league where I think I have 3 flex spots. You know what I mean? It's a deeper league. Like, he can find one of that. I don't even have Sanders in this league.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, they might add somebody, but apparently they were really high on Carlos Hyde and they lost out to the Seahawks in that one. So whoever they add is not going to be a world beater. I mean, it's going to be a guy, like I said, not a world beater.
I just wonder if it's somebody like a Hyde or even a Devontae Freeman that we know can't catch, but maybe takes that first and second down roll away, Sanders moves to more of like a second, third down back role, what's left for Scott at that point? You know what I mean? If they're bringing in a pounder and letting Sanders just kind of do what he did last year early, does that leave enough for Scott? But at this point, Scott's the second dude.
So I don't know if you know this. I live right outside of Philly, so
I knew you're somewhat in the area.
Yeah, I hear all of the local beat reporters for the Eagles, and literally everything that I've seen, the Eagles love Scott. They want him out there. They want to try to get the ball to him as much as humanly possible. So I can't believe a guy, even if it's as high quality, I can't even believe those words came out of my mouth, as Devonta Freeman is signed to the team. I think it's just going to be a depth piece. It's not going to be someone who comes and takes kind of Boston Scott's spot. I think It's just going to be an break glass in case of emergency type guy. And so I like that piece. I guess I loved your side because you got so many guys that I like or love. So
let me disappoint you on this next one. I think we should get the Tommy Garrett, but let me get this other trade real quick because you're not gonna like this one as much, I promise. Le'Veon Bell and LaMichael Pirine and Laviska Shenault, and because I do a lot of pieces, also a 2021 second and a 2022 third. Who gives a shit about the picks? But I try to get him at it anyways. The other side, this is a 12-team Superflex, full PPR, maybe quarter carry. Yeah. Mitchell Trubisky, Darius Geis, T. Higgins.
I don't hate that trade.
No. I mean,
I like it, especially because of the PPC. And
I believe there's quarter there, yeah.
Yeah, so I like that. I mean,
that's my only share of guys.
Can be really good.
What's that? Only share of guys. That was my only issue there. And that's a first year startup. So we just did the startup like 3 months ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was literally, I felt like a guy set a pretty good spot, and that was the only share I had because I just don't really believe it. And I was like, do I need one just in case I'm wrong? Right. But then this deal comes across, and I feel like my team is geared to win now, maybe the next year or two.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, if I feel about Shenault, like I still have T over Shenault, like in Dynasty.
Sure.
But for this year, I believe Shenault is a much better play. So Trubisky's the piece, right? Like if he is the quarterback and Foles doesn't beat him out, like I feel like I've preached for the last couple of months, then I probably lose this trade, like value wise. But I think it still helps me. Right, I have Trubisky was my fourth or fifth quarterback on the Superflex team. Like I have 3 better starters than him.
Right.
Yeah, I mean you're getting guys that you at least can be comfortable with. You're moving guys that may have 0 value by the end of the season. Like Geis could have 0 value
by the end of the first month of the season.
Trubisky could have 0 value.
So really don't. Again, this is weird.
Yeah, this show.
I made that deal with Swags.
Sorry, Swags.
Sorry,
Swags. I mean, he's been after that guy since basically I drafted him. I think I did it right in front of him just to fuck with him because I do that a lot in drafts too. So
I dig that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Bill. I mean, I personally think Mitch Trubisky's the guy in Chicago for what that's worth. But I mean, he could just as easily be on the bench week 4. Darius Geis could easily be getting another knee surgery at the end of week 4. T. Higgins, I like that piece. I think he's going to be a good player. But, I mean, you're also getting Lev Bell. And, yeah, like Lev Bell isn't the sexy, top 3 running back anymore. But, like, he's an RB2. Like, he's solid. He's going to get you points. And if the Jets can figure anything out, I mean, he should have hopefully Sam Darnold for a full 16-game season. They got Mims. They got a couple weapons in there, Brashad Perriman, to maybe free things up for him a little bit. So not only did you get your guy, but I think you also got a really solid running back in Lev Bell. And if Lev Bell goes down, you have his backup in LaMichael Pirine. So, you know.
I may or may not already have Frank Gore on this team, too.
Well, that sounds like an awful roster if you have both of those. You have all 3 Jets running backs.
Gay system, buddy.
Don't mess with the Infinity Stone, Frank Gore. That man he's everything. So let's get to our man Tommy Garrett, Tommy Boy. If you guys had the 101 in a draft, who would you select? It is a Superflex redraft league. So this is Superflex. This is redraft. I have a feeling we're all going to agree. But Bill, why don't you start us off? Who you taking? 101.
I do not think we're going to agree.
I'm taking a running back. So I'll probably take McCaffrey. Yeah, I'm not going to take a quarterback. And if it's a dynasty, I'm going the quarterback. But redraft, I'm going running back. So I'm going to take McCaffrey.
All right. 2 drink. Who you taking?
I think you should go next.
Yeah, I think I should, because obviously when I said we were all going to agree, that was a filthy lie.
2 drinks going to take Devontae Parker.
Preston Williams all day.
Miami love. I disagree with Bill. I'm going with the QB, taking Patty Mahomes. The guy will score more than everyone else, and after that, I can figure out running back, in the next couple of rounds. So I would go with Patrick Mahomes. Oh, man. 2 drink has warmed his hands up. He's ready.
I may or may not have dropped this link to this in my SFB chat. X. I have the 101. And if you're not sure who has the 102, look who asked the fucking question.
That's awesome.
Tommy, good play, brother. Good play.
If you've listened to Super Flexible at all, I am almost pulling my hair out. Yeah, I see you, Tommy. Damn it. Yeah, I see you. I've gone back and forth. I was really maybe influenced by Brian Haar. Maybe I'll be honest. Maybe influenced.
Oh, yeah. You were talking about Barkley.
I kind of feel like Barkley is the play over CMC for SFB, and then you start thinking about that week 13 bye, and you don't have to have a week off from your first overall pick. And then I listened to Superflex Super Show and Addison Hayes talking about the scoring and all the negative points, and Mahomes having the safest floor last year. He had an 11-point game, right? That seems gross. That's not good. But when you think of other players having a lot of games in single digits, Sam Darnold having a -28 in SFBX scoring from what he did last year, -28, you are not winning. There is no way. Baker had a -18, and man, Patty Mahomes feels a lot better at 101 and something like that, right? Like at least it's safe. And I do so many mocks, and none of the mocks effing matter at all when it comes to your real draft. So you got to take that with a little bit of grain of salt. And you're like, all right, do I feel good if, maybe 2 out of these 3 quarterbacks make it to that 2-3 turn if I take a quarterback here? Because if not, all these quarterbacks are shit in SFBX scoring, man. They really are.
So if we were talking, that changes my whole answer. If we're talking SFB scoring,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
in regular redraft Superflex, I think I will take the running back. Not having to worry about SFBX. I think it's still Barkley. I think that's the answer for me. And then I might go ahead and double tap quarterback at the 2-3 turn.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on who you're playing with. In my home league, even in Superflex, I don't have to do that.
No.
I might do it at the 4-5 turn and still feel really good about it, and then freak a lot of people out. But you just got to know in a redraft, hopefully, at least some people's tendencies because you've played with them enough. I think the play in Superflex redraft is at 101 is running back, and then maybe quarterback, running back 2-3, depending on what's there. Tommy, you ain't getting shit from me for SFBX though, bro.
So I have 103 in SFBX, and everybody was all on the same page saying, okay, well, we'll be happy with
taking Mahomes,
Lamar, or McCaffrey, and that's like pretty much consensus. So let the other two people make their decision, and whoever we end up
you
with,
get the leftover
fine.
scrap.
Yeah, and then I saw where like a lot of the people in the 101 chat, like, it's consensus CMC. Like that's at least from what I understand. So like that makes me feel really good that I end up with Mahomes or Lamar at 103. But yeah, I agree. And Scott Fishbowl, I am definitely going quarterback early.
Yeah, I didn't know this was SFBX.
It was a good try, Tommy. I'll give you that.
Tommy, I'm gonna.
I appreciate you, brother.
I'm gonna find you on Twitter. If for
That's
some
really
reason I'm
funny.
not following you, I will follow you because that is such a gangsta move, and I love it. So yeah, and I agree. I agree that it's all about who you're drafting with. Like I have the 107 in the He-Man division, and I am literally sandwiched between 3 fans. I have a fan at 5, 6, and then at 8, and then 9 is Zach Reed, Tacit Assassin.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm sure he is going to take a lot of guys that I like and infuriate me in those even rounds. But yeah, I mean, in this scoring format, I almost think you need that, you need that floor to be 11 points and not that floor to be negative 28 because, I mean, Patty Mahomes is also probably going to give you in this format some 30-point games too. And I don't know even in this format if guys like Sam Darnold and the like can give that to you even at their ceiling. So
I don't even know if I want that as my quarterback 3. Like, I don't even want to play with that on my roster. Like, obviously, this is a different format than anything, but man, it's such a different mindset from normal Superflex, even redraft dynasty, because you can't trade. Quarterbacks have not no value, you know what I mean, but zero value to anybody else once they're on your team. You know what I mean? So it's just different mindset. I like getting 4 starting quarterbacks in a 12-team super flex and at least putting the squeeze on somebody. And if they fall, I'll take more. So it's a tough mindset. It'll be interesting to see how fans and analysts play because all the analysts are in dynasty mindset. You know what I mean? And younger guys, you look at this ADP and rookies are going long before some proven vets that are gonna outscore them by a lot. Do fans not worry about that and take guys? It's just different mindset. Looking at mocks and then knowing that this doesn't mean shit. It's gonna be so fun just once we get into it and do it. And you don't want to be the first league done, but I don't really want to be the last. You know what I mean? I'd like to at least kind of see what's going on in front of me, even though it still doesn't matter in mine.
Right. And last year, I wasn't in Scott Fishbowl, but I was kind of looking at, the high and low draft spots for a lot of different players. Yeah. And it was amazing when you saw like
swings of like 40, 50 spots and some things. Like,
it's like this guy went at 105 at his high and then like 307 as his low. And you're like, what the, like, how can value be that different? But I mean, we're going to see a lot of players. I think one guy that we're going to see some big swings on are guys like Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers, where we're going to see highs of like 108, 109, 110, and then we're going to see lows of like 307, 308, 309, and it's just going to be insane to watch those swings because I hear people talking about taking, someone like Travis Kelce as high as 105, and then other people saying that's a guy they're hoping to see in the middle of the second or the end of the second round. So it's going to be going to be interesting. It's going to be
Tommy,
fun.
if you let Kelsey or Kittle get to 2-3 turn, you will force my hand.
I don't think you're going to see either of those guys getting back around.
I've never seen Breeze go past 210 in a mock, and I've seen him as high as 109. And I think I've at least done 6 mocks that are past that point for SFBX. So I can't see that guy making it to 2-3 turn at probably in any draft, just because that's the one guy. If you listen to an SFBX show, everybody's like, well, Breeze was quarterback 6 even after missing all those fucking games last year. You got to take him in the first.
Points per game, he was there was 3 guys that scored in points per game way above the rest of everyone else. And it's McCaffrey, Lamar, and Breeze. And then it's a 5-point drop down to Mahomes. So those 3 guys are just so high. So you'd have to ask, is Breeze going to complete 74% of his passes again? Probably unlikely, but possibly. And I mean, he's still going to be completing 70%, I would imagine. Right. And so, I mean, he's actually the guy that I was thinking as my 3rd pick at 103, not McCaffrey. Wow. When I chose the 103 spot. So nice. I don't think I'm going to have to make that decision, but in Scott Fishbowl scoring, I mean, I won't fault anyone for drafting him super early.
Yeah. And another guy who in this format looks a lot better than in maybe some other formats is Derek Carr.
Yeah.
And I think his ADP swing is going to be huge. I think he's going to be a guy where you're looking at 30 or 40 spots between his high and his low, just because, there's going to be one guy in a league that really believes in him and takes him a lot earlier than ADP says they should. And then there's going to be one league where no one believes in the guy and they're going to let him, fall to a point. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting.
Isn't it so interesting, though? Because, as well as he scores in SFB scoring, he could be replaced. You know what I mean? We're looking at his points in fantasy, but there's people that think that Mariota is going to be playing at some point during the season. So he's a really interesting guy to consider, I mean,
why not take Mariota with your 20th pick then? I don't see him going a lot, even though we all, our little, small knit community out of this kind of believe maybe that is the case, but I still have yet to see Mariota even go. So maybe you can do Derek Carr at 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there, and just go ahead and back it up in the 20th. We saw how many quarterbacks last year hit on waivers, and we have to spend $100 on Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, lots down the road. Maybe you don't do that in week 1 and just do it with your 20th pick and back up one of those quarterbacks and you know what I mean, protect yourself that way.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because with over 1,400 people in it, everyone's going to have a plan. Everyone's going to have a strategy. And when you have that many different people coming at it from literally 1,400 different angles, it's going to be interesting to see how teams end up, with the tight end premium. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of teams that try to go tight end heavy. I've heard a lot of people say fade the wide receiver,
But you got to start 3, right? So right. You still put a little twist in there.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You have to start 3. So there are going to be, guys that do fade the receiver while other guys just go, well, screw it. If you're going to let all of this wide receiver value fall to me, I'll figure out the running back spot, at some other point. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be. I feel
like I'm gonna be the guy that's reaching on a lot of players, and I'm gonna have a ton of regrets at the end of the draft. I feel like that's where I'm gonna be because I'm gonna get nervous about quarterbacks, so I'm gonna draft them earlier than I should, and then I'm gonna see people getting good players in round 9, and I feel like I'm just gonna be terrible at this.
Yeah, but you know what, Bill? This is kind of what I always say about any kind of tournament, whether it's you're playing basketball or poker or whatever, all the teams that are like, yeah, we're great, we're ready to go. And big tournaments, you even look at the NCAA tournament, 64 teams or 68 teams. You know, how often does the number one team in the country end up winning that thing? You know, sometimes, but not, you know, more often than not in a big tournament, it's a lesser ranked team, you know. So I think a lot of people that come out and say my team is really good, a lot of those people probably won't be in the finals. I mean, that's also just math. But
dude, I say that every year. I think I have like 4 combined wins the last 2 SF.
Nice,
so.
Nice.
And that's the thing. Like, listen,
Toy Story toys. I really don't have anything to worry about. Don't worry about what I do.
like, this is my first year. Guarantee my team is going to be a steaming pile of hot garbage.
You never know, man.
But that's the thing. Like, I can walk out of a draft and go, well, this is going to be my year. And then, I mean, I'd be curious to see what guys who have won it before, how they left their draft feeling about their team, whether they were like really confident or whether they were like, could have done better on this one. And, you know, that's kind of the fun of it too, is like, you're gonna be eyeing up your own division and going, oh, that guy came out of the draft pretty good. Oh, that guy didn't do too hot.
Hey, let's hit this last tweet.
Let's hit it. All right. So we asked Two Drink to throw a tweet on himself, and we give it a little.
I mean, you shit on every other one I threw in there, so eventually I got to hit one.
Yeah, you know, the law of large numbers, whatever. So this is from Fantasy Football Troglodyte at FF Troglodyte. I love the name. Mike Evans had 0, all capital, 0 wide receiver 2 weeks in 2019. He was either a wide receiver 1 or a wide receiver 3 or worse. So how do you fellas feel about the man, the myth, the legend, Mike Evans?
I mean, he had Jameis Winston throwing to him, so like that's a different setup than Tom Brady throwing to him. I think it might be a little bit more of consistent targets this year. I think he's going to be a little bit more comfortable throwing to Evans. He's not had a receiver like Evans in what, 10 years? Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's true, and I'm very cognizant of the fact that he was that way because I do have him on multiple teams, and it was infuriating because you get 40 points, then you get 2 points, and then you get 28 points, and then you get 4 points. It was just crazy. There was a game he had 0 targets, I think, and so it was just crazy last year. And I can't say that that's going to continue this year just because, you know, a major component to that offense changed. So, I mean, that's not going to change how I feel about Mike Evans.
and our man rated IDP Live, losing Peyton Barber is going to hurt those Bucks.
Dougie's on some.
Yeah, he's at Washington too.
Yeah. Listen, every running back you can think of right now is in Washington. They're all just having a convention or something.
So in that tweet though, right, it says like even since 2014, Mike Evans has only had 13 wide receiver 2 games. He's had 33 wide receiver 1 games and 44 games as wide receiver 3 or worst. Even with all those quote unquote bust games, he still averages 16.6 points per game in PPR. Like, that means those highs are so effing high because he did give you that 0 target game. So if you believe that to be because of Winston, right, and it's going to be more consistent now with Brady, do you think that means we get less highs or less lows?
Yes.
Right. Right.
Why not both?
Okay. So exactly, right? So if he's going to average around that 16.6 points, right? So that's what we're saying now we're going to get pretty much week in, week out. I'm not playing the 0 game. I'm not getting the 40 game. Is that what you're saying?
I would say you're still going to get maybe one of those, you're not going to get 4 of those. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there's just going to be more consistency. And
so he's safer now.
A little bit, I think so.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way and say like, oh yeah, like he's Jamison Crowder, or he's, you know what I mean? Like where that's a really bad example, and I shouldn't have picked that name. But he's not like Jarvis Landry or something like that, where we know he's going to get his targets every week. But I think we're going to see a smaller range, on a weekly basis than we have for target.
Yeah, and I think. This is something that doesn't get spoken a lot about in fantasy as a whole. That was year 1 in a brand new offense. Bruce Arians came in, It's year 2 now, so he's more comfortable. Yes, it's going to be Tom Brady's first year, so but I mean, Tom Brady's a smart guy. Like, there might be some hiccups initially, but I think he's going to grasp it pretty quickly, So that could also help with the boom bust nature of Mike Evans a little bit, because he is more comfortable in the offense. But I mean, the guy definitely has an upgrade at quarterback. I don't think, apparently now, Jameis Winston can see, but besides that.
Would you rather pay up for Godwin still, or do you want to wait and get Mike Evans now then? Because I don't want to pay up for Godwin if I believe Mike Evans is going to be more consistent than he's been in years past.
Well, why can't Mike Evans be more consistent and Chris Godwin just be as good as he was with the upgrade at quarterback?
He can, but I don't want to have to pay for it. Because Godwin's going, a round and a half in front of Evans, if not even more?
Yeah.
Probably more at this point, I would say. Definitely in Dynasty. I've seen Godwin close to that 1-2 turn.
Right. I mean,
and Evans is 3-4? That might be pushing it a little bit there, but yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about
opportunity cost, I guess is my point.
And
there.
If we're talking about doing this in a startup, I agree with you.
Or even redraft. He's going to go behind Godwin, right? Like I'm going to wait then.
Yeah. I mean, and it's between those two. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Evans gives you more bang for your buck at where he's getting drafted. But, I still think Chris Godwin is going to be really good, even if Mike Evans is more consistent. So, I mean, I could be wrong about that, but I think the upgrade at quarterback is going to kind of insulate Chris Godwin while kind of making Mike Evans more consistent.
Fair.
So I think we hit all the high notes, fellas. Unless there's anything.
A few low notes in there.
That was mostly me.
You do what you can, Bill.
Me and my Jamison Crowder reference.
God, that was.
I don't know where that came from.
I like Crowder. You guys chill out.
Mini stroke, I think.
Well, apparently Jamison Crowder has one fan. His name is Two Drink. So,
yep.
Two Drink, my man. Appreciate you coming on. It was a ton of fun. We tried this once before and it didn't work out, but maybe it was all for the best, because this show was awesome, and you carried both of us. Usually it's Bill carrying me, but I think you carried both of us. So
I think when I listen back, I will disagree, but I appreciate the kind words.
Listen, I listen back. I listen to every episode to critique myself, and I've slowly made my way from like F to like solid D. So I'm getting there slowly but surely. But and that's grading on a curve too, but whatever. So appreciate you coming on. It was a ton of fun having you. If for some reason people are listening to us and they somehow don't know where to find you, let them know where to find you.
Appreciate that. I'm definitely stoked I was able to come on this time. I wish I could have come on the last time as well. But I did. I bought extra boosters just so we would make sure this works. So hopefully in the future, if you guys want, I will definitely jump back on. But yeah, if you don't know where I am, I'm at FL2 Drink Minimum. I don't write anymore. It's been a long time, but you can that's not good for me. Let's be honest. I just shoot the shit and tell you what I'm thinking, and hopefully get you to think about other things about fantasy players. That's really my goal here. I would like not to tell you what to do, but maybe how you should think about doing it. So find me at Fantasy Football Breakdown and at the Superflex Pod. I do both of those with my boy Swagzilla 0G. He's going to be so pissed. But much love to you both. Definitely like seeing this show. What was this? It's episode 30?
33
or 2.
Double threes.
It's been awesome watching you guys grow and continue to grow, and I will continue to listen. It's hard for me to watch most of the time, but I will definitely continue to listen when the show comes out.
And I mean, we appreciate it. You're everywhere. Your voice is in my ears a lot because I'm listening to everything you do. You're all in my ears. Obviously, this will not be the last time you're on this show, so just get ready for that.
And Josh, we got to get you on Breakdown. I've had Bill now twice. What the hell, man?
Dude, well, first of all, Bill is like the brain 3 times he says.
3. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 days in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Bill is the brains of this operation. Bill is like dating a hot girl. Like you want to be out with them all the time because you want other dudes to see you with the hot girl. But then like you're also a little worried that like that some better dude is going to come along and take her from you. So
yeah,
I like Bill being out there and like doing all this stuff, but then I'm going to get scared one day. He's going to be like, what am I doing with this joker? When like I could be like with actual talented people. So, but anytime, hit me up. I will come on the breakdown. I will probably fumble through the 2-minute drill there. And
dude, I think I got one answer right, like both times I did it.
Questionable.
So, yeah,
that's why we had you help the 3rd time.
Yeah, I might have been worse than Sipes.
Oof.
That's hard to do.
So on that note, dude, thank you to everybody who was in the chat. The chat was lit. We had my man Tacit Assassin on, Rated IDP Live. Lindsay Kennedy was in there for a little bit.
Finero
was just bombarding us with his Miles Boykin love.
Toy Story Toys trying to get a leg up.
So, I mean, and there were so many others. I mean, I'm watching the little eye here saying, you know, how many people are in. We had a lot of people in this week. It was awesome.
Nice.
Love seeing the chat. You guys are awesome. If you're watching this on YouTube, remember to subscribe and hit the bell. We're at the Dynasty Addicts Podcast Network on YouTube, so find us.
Subscribe to this.
Yeah. Subscribe, hit the bell. Was talking to our man Outhouse earlier. We had at that time 123 subscribers, which is insane to me. That's a lot of people.
What happened?
Bill's not paying attention.
I was not. What happened?
When we were talking to Russ earlier about how many subscribers we had.
Yeah.
Now, Bill, welcome to the podcast. We're getting ready to wrap up.
I blacked out hours ago.
So hit the bell, subscribe, listen to us mumble about whatever the hell we're talking about right now. Great part about subscribing and hitting the bell, you know when we go live. So Bill was on last Sunday. He did a live thing with our boy Outhouse. They were just shooting the breeze, doing their thing. And you know, if you're listening to us on podcast form, we appreciate you. You know, we're at an hour and 43 minutes now. So devoting that much of your life to listening to us mumble, and then 2 Drink just lifting us up and setting us straight. Appreciate all of that. So, you know, if you are listening to us on the podcast, remember to subscribe, rate, and review. Tell your friends. We love to when new people say they've listened to us and actually think we are doing something good. So on that note, Bill, we are out of here.
What about the Listener League?